Hello, and welcome to the January to June 2025 ValphiasTV announcement video. This will be the first of what I'm hoping will be a biannual series in which I talk about my plans for the next 6 months. I am releasing this a bit earlier than I usually would. This would normally be like a December video, but one of the topics for today I'm going to be talking about kind of does affect November and December of this year. So I thought I would go ahead and release it, kind of get out of the way, give y'all a heads up, let you know what's going on, and that's going to be my changing schedule for the winter season. I'll be getting into that more here in a minute, but first I just kind of want to go over the main topics for today. One of those topics I've already mentioned. It's going to be the update regarding the changing schedule for winter. After that, I'll be talking about my planned main games and planned side games for the first half of the year. After that, I'll be looking, just kind of talking about what's going to be coming in the second half of 2025, assuming there's no major changes to my life during that period. And then after that, I'm just going to round off the video with a few brief things that, just things I need to get out there, things I need to talk about, give y'all heads up on, all that good stuff. So, there's really no reason to kind of linger on this slide here. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, as far as the changing winter schedule goes, that's really just because of how expensive winter is. I've made it no secret here on ValphiasTV just how expensive the winter season can be for me. Even back when I had a very good paying job, I've still had to be a bit careful in the winter, be more mindful of my budget, that sort of thing. Now that I don't have a well-paying job, that's just even more true. So one thing I'm going to be doing to try to increase my income, make sure that I survive the winter, is I'm going to be taking more time away from streaming to do DoorDash. It's going to be, I think, starting in November. I don't know if it's going to be early November or the middle of November, but sometime in November I'm going to start taking Thursday and Friday off from streaming to do more DoorDash. I'm not sure how long the schedule is going to be like that specifically, so one thing I will be mindful of doing is updating y'all in my Discord when the streaming schedule changes. Like right now, I'm aiming to stream all 7 days of the week. In November, I'm going to only be streaming 5 days of the week, and then probably beginning sometime in January, it's going to be even less than that. I don't plan on doing more than 4 days away in a week unless it's the DoorDash week specifically, and there is a chance that even doing all of this, it's still not enough once we get into the depths of winter. So I actually have it noted here. In February, I may have to do 2 DoorDash weeks. Just take 2 full weeks off just to make money, just to make sure I can pay the bills, all that kind of thing. Your continued support will be needed to allow me to stream more during the winter, especially February. Right now, it's very possible that I won't be streaming much in February at all. I do want to stress that this is only for the winter season. By the end of April, maybe into early May, the schedule will be returning to normal. How late in the new year the schedule returns to normal is kind of dependent on what the weather does here. Tennessee can be a bit weird in the transition from winter to spring. Even it's like by May I should be fine, but sometimes as early as middle to late March it can get pretty warm here in Tennessee, and sometimes it doesn't start really warming up until sometime into April. So just to make sure that I've got all the bills taken care of, it won't be until sometime in April or May that I'm returning to a full 7-day a stream target or set 7 streams a week target, not 7 streams a day. My God, that would be insane. But yeah, 7 streams a week, and then after that, of course, for the rest of the year until next November, I guess, I will be streaming super regularly. With that out of the way, let's talk about something more positive, and that is, the main games for the next 6 months. As you can see on the right there, it's going to be a lot of Zelda. I have finalized the order that I'll be doing this in. It's going to be Breath of the Wild, which I've already started, followed by Link's Awakening, then the HD remake of Skyward Sword, then the newly released Echoes of Wisdom, and then Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. For a while, I was thinking that Echoes of Wisdom may follow Breath of the Wild instead of Link's Awakening, and of course, originally I was hoping to start with Echoes of Wisdom anyway, but given how tight, the budget's going to be, I'm definitely not going to be trying to buy Echoes of Wisdom during the winter. So just in the off chance that I finish up with Breath of the Wild before the springtime, I just want to make sure that I have plenty of time to save up and then buy Echoes of Wisdom. So that's why it's so late in the list. Another thing is, now that I've started with Breath of the Wild, I thought it would be really interesting to open and close this little Zeldathon, with the largest version of Hyrule. This will also give me a bit of a break from that version of Hyrule. I'm not just going to be jumping straight from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. There's going to be some breathing room between the two. I don't expect to be done by Tears of the Kingdom by the end of this period. There's a small chance that I may not even have started Tears of the Kingdom by the end of this 6-month period. But, I just wanted to go ahead and lay it out there. I've already mentioned this a little bit in past streams and maybe on my Discord as well. But this is it. This is the finalized list that I'll be doing for the mainline Zelda games. I do want to stress here that I will not be trying to do any challenge runs or anything like that. I won't be trying to 100% any of these games. In Breath of the Wild, in the first couple of streams there, I've already kind of stressed that the only 100%ing I'll be doing is getting all of the shrines. And I think that mentality is going to extend to all of the Zelda games. At the very least, I'm going to try to be getting all the Pieces of Heart. Or in Tears of the Kingdom, it's getting all of the shrines. Tears of the Kingdom, from my understanding, has some fairly challenging shrines, whether it's challenging to get to or challenging to complete. And it just has more shrines from what I understand as well. So Tears of the Kingdom is definitely going to be here on the channel for a while. But first we have to get through all the other games, including the very good Breath of the Wild. I've never 100%ed Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, or Tears of the Kingdom. In fact, if you want to really be technical about it, I don't think I've 100%ed any Zelda game. But with Link's Awakening, at least the original Game Boy version, I am pretty sure I have gotten all of the items and all of the heart containers in the past. Whether or not I'll be doing all of that this time, aside from the Pieces of Heart, which I've already said I'm going to do, I'm just going to decide that as I'm playing each game. Heart pieces, heart containers are definite. Everything else outside of that just kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for. And of course, I did say that I wouldn't be doing any challenge runs, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be trying some of the hardest challenges in the game. Like with Breath of the Wild, there's fighting Lionels, there's fighting Guardians, there's completing some of the DLC bits, which are particularly difficult from what I remember. But just on the whole, I'm not going to be trying to do anything fancy. It's just going to be playing through the games and having a grand old time with them. That general mentality also extends to the side games. Obviously, right now, I'm in the process of wrapping up the story for Hades. Here pretty soon, I'm going to be starting on Hades 2. After I'm done with both of those, the side games are also going to begin to have a bit of a Zelda flavor. When I start Hades 2, that does not mean I'll be finished with Hades 1. That's why I kind of have it laid out the way I do. I will be revisiting the first Hades to, do heat runs to wrap up some of the side stuff that I definitely won't be done with before I start Hades 2. At the least, I'm hoping to have the main story for Hades done. I've already... It's kind of a weird one. I've already got the main story done with Hades, but there is an epilogue I'm working toward. It's just kind of slow going as far as getting all of that done. I don't know if I'll be completely finished with that before I start Hades 2, but that is kind of the plan, that is kind of the hope. I do plan to start Hades 2 after I do, I don't know, like 90 or 100 runs through Hades. I'm already up to like 70 something from what I remember, so it's not going to be that long now. But just because I start Hades 2 doesn't mean I'm completely finished with the first Hades. So for those of you who are hoping to see more of Zagreus' adventures, don't worry. It'll still be there. Right now, I don't have any plans for anything to follow Stardew Valley. For one thing, I very much doubt I'll be done with Stardew Valley in the next, 6-7 months. It is definitely taken a bit of a backseat. I mainly only play it, when I have low energy or when I know that I don't have much time to stream. So Stardew Valley is kind of going slow now. But that's just the way it goes. I have it written here that I want to trim down the number of games I'm playing at a time. I really don't want to play more than 2, but since I've written this, I really do think that having a third really casual backup game is the way to go. I mean, alternatively, I could just have a short, easygoing stream with either Hyrule Warriors or whichever mainline Zelda game I'm at the time. I guess this is more of a to be determined than anything, but as of right now, I don't have any plans for a game to follow up on Stardew. That may change when I release the July to December 2025 video. We'll see. I do need to make a special note about Hades 2, because it's the first time I think I've had a game featured on ValphiasTV that's not done. Hades 2 is in early access, it is still being worked on, and I've recently learned that even major main storyline stuff is still in the pipeline for Hades 2. I don't know why, but initially I was under the impression that it was only going to be like side content, relationship stuff, or just extra dialogue from the gift-giving system, similar to what we get in the first Hades. So, with Hades 2, I think I may still have to occasionally return to it, even after I start Hyrule Warriors. So, I just wanted to throw it out there. If I do end up having to do something like that, the revisits to Hades 2 will be few and far between. And it'll be dependent on, major updates, if an update comes out that does have some major story stuff, I'll take a break from Hyrule Warriors probably and revisit Hades 2 and, spend several weeks just kind of doing runs of Hades 2 before returning to Hyrule Warriors, or eventually Cadence of Hyrule. Just wanted to clarify on that. I think that's the best way to tackle this, because I don't want to push off Hyrule Warriors forever while waiting for new content in Hades 2. There's part of me that's hoping that this will be a bit of a non-issue anyway, and that by the time I catch up with the content in Hades 2, it'll be done. But you never know. I have no idea what the timetable is as far as how long they plan to keep working on Hades 2, how long it'll be before they finish the main story or anything of that sort. So I just wanted to kind of have a plan here just in case I catch up with stuff in Hades 2 and it turns out that it's not done, that there's still story stuff that's not yet in the game. Now that that's out of the way, now that we've talked about the main and side games for the first half of the year, the second half of the year I'm thinking is going to be Metroid. Of course, I won't be done with the Zelda games by, the 1st of July. I'm not expecting to be. But I do already kind of have a plan for what comes after Zelda. It's going to be some Metroid. And with Metroid, I have a very specific plan in mind. I'm not going to get into it now. It'll probably be the main topic of the next biannual announcement video here. But it's going to be a bit involved. It will require more than one playthrough of each game, and that's all I'm going to say about it right now. Beyond that, I haven't really thought about anything. I did want to mention, a few months ago, when I had talked about, streaming twice in a day or trying to do some crazy shenanigans, one thing that I did say was that I was wanting to dive into RTS in a big way on stream here. For the foreseeable future, that's not going to happen. At least for the calendar year of 2025. That may change, before 2026. It's partially because I want to give the devs for the various games I'm looking at a chance to actually finish them. I did do a very short stream of Stormgate a couple of months ago. I have talked about another one, Battle Aces. Long story short, the RTS games I'm looking at trying to play are made by teams that are primarily made up of ex-Blizzard devs. And, that really excites me. I spent more time than I care to admit playing, StarCraft back in the day. Actually, it might be a good idea to revisit StarCraft, do the campaigns of both of those games before I try to dive back into Stormgate and whatnot again. But in any case, for 2025, there will be no RTS. I'm going to be focused on Zelda and then eventually Metroid as well. Anything beyond that, it's really, really early to talk about 2026, so I'm just going to stop it there. But yeah, for right now, Zelda, eventually some Metroid, and no RTS for 2025. And that's it as far as the absolute main topics that I was hoping to cover for, this biannual announcement video. Since I started working on this video, setting up the slides that you've seen, which if you like, let me know, because I'm really thinking this is going to be the main format for the big announcement videos going forward. But since I've started working on it, I have set up a proper streaming schedule for myself, for ValphiasTV. So right now, Zelda is a Monday through Friday affair, Hades is a weekend affair, Saturday and Sunday, and then Stardew Valley is the backup for when streams will be shorter. I don't have it noted on the slide here, but it's Stardew Valley is also my game of choice for when I just have low energy for a day. If I had a rough time at work the night before, Stardew Valley is a good chill game, even though I don't always treat it as a chill game. But it's a good chill game. It's, despite the way I act about it, I just find it to be an easier game to tackle than Zelda, and especially than Hades. As much as I love Hades, the fast, frenetic combat in that game can feel a bit taxing to me. It's especially trying to handle it properly. While it's debatable that I've ever played that game properly, with any great skill, I do try, and I do occasionally have some just really fantastic runs. A mix of my skill and the boons the game gives me for that run for sure, but, there's still some skill involved, I think. Zelda, it isn't really like that for me yet, because I'm avoiding some of the really challenging stuff. But the further I get into Zelda, the more I'm going to be open to tackling the challenging stuff, which means, of course, that game's going to become a bit a bit challenging, a bit mentally taxing as well. One thing I'm really trying to do with this playthrough is properly master its combat system. In particular, its dodging and flurry rush mechanics and stuff like that. I always get pretty good at that by the end of my playthrough of Breath of the Wild, but I'm really wanting to tackle it in a big way this time. So that's obviously going to put a strain on the brain as well. And as a final note, of course, this is a bit of a negative one, and one that probably won't come to impact the streams at all. If the budget for me to live proves to be particularly tight this winter, I might have to start looking at changing jobs in the spring. And if I change jobs, that'll impact everything with the stream. I'm in a bit of an unusual position right now, as far as having the freedom to stream every day. Because I stream in the morning. I stream before I go into work, and that's really nice. But if I have to start, if I end up having to change jobs during the spring, I'm going to change to a full-time job, which will put a complete end to that. So if I do have to change jobs, I'll have to start streaming after work again, which means the streams will be shorter. They'll be a bit less frequent because I'll be tired after work a lot some nights. I really don't think, like I said, I really don't think this is going to be an issue. For one, because of the changing schedule I've already touched on earlier in the video, where I'm doing more DoorDash and making more money that way. I also have another option of making money, and it's something I'm going to explore. So I really don't think that this is going to be an issue. But like I said, earlier in the video, the more support I get, on Twitch, like the more bits that are thrown my way, the more subs I get, that'll definitely help. And I'm usually not one to ask for money, but I mean, that's the reality of it. Like, if y'all want to see more of me during the winter, if you want to see me continuously as I'm currently streaming, I need money. So that's really all I'm going to say there. But yeah. And with that out of the way, I would again like to, well, first I would like to thank everyone for watching through my slideshow. Again, I'm thinking this is going to be the format of the main announcement videos going forward. Obviously, if I have to release a small, quick announcement video, I'll be doing it the old-fashioned way, where it's just my face on the screen the whole time, rambling. But I really wanted this to be, a proper thing, and I thought making it a slideshow like that just strikes me as funny for some reason. So that's what I decided to do. I look forward to seeing everyone tune into my streams going forward. I would like to thank everyone for the support that they've given me so far. Like, it does mean a lot. And until next time, y'all have a good one. Bye.